Hi guys, I'm back. So if you haven't watched my previous video, go and watch it. So today I've got my scarf on because my silk press kind of ran out, and I'm literally on my way to do another hairstyle. I've got my weekly maintenance coming up. I want to get my eyebrows done, I want to get my nails done, and then my hair done. So yeah, for now I've washed my hair and it's in a scarf and the hair is herring. Just look at that. Just look at it. 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 Okay. So today I really want to talk about I really want to talk about why certain people are telling certain people not that their education and their income doesn't matter. So I've noticed this whole rhetoric because I've been trying to educate myself on this whole manosphere stuff, which is really daunting and shitty and tedious. And yeah, it's like I don't really want to be doing that. But just so that I understand when I make my videos, I want to actually have correct context. So I've been trying to there seems to be like a common rhetoric that I've noticed. And this common rhetoric is, we don't care about your education and your income. That's something I've noticed that, especially Black men, I've noticed that they seem to talk about Black women's education and income. And this is just ridiculously sad to me and actually quite demonic in my opinion, because for most Black people, they are not born privileged. They are born, they have to hustle, they have to go to university. That's literally how a lot of Black people especially, are able to even get any kind of good jobs at all. Even when they get to university, they're still suffering, hustling hard because their parents can't even afford to take care of them. They can't even afford to take care of them. Many of them are working to give their parents money. There is this black tax, especially in the Black community in the Western world, where many people are working, studying, and still taking care of their parents. And then you are fixing your mouth to say that a Black woman's education and income isn't important. Like, are you well? Why are Black people telling other Black people that their education and their income doesn't matter? This makes me to believe that Black men really think, a lot of them really think that they are millionaires, temporary, embarrassed millionaires. Many of you do not have the income needed to take care of a family on your own. And that's not a slight to you. It's hard for everybody. All races of men struggle to take care of their family on one income. It's pretty much impossible nowadays. It's pretty much impossible to do. And for you to go around and say that a Black woman's income and education doesn't matter is mind-blowingly ridiculous, because many of you will not be able to survive or build a family without your counterpart's income, because many of you don't make as much money like that, especially in the UK. UK is a low-wage economy, and many people don't even make over £24,000 a year. According to the Office of National Statistics, which is like the UK database that basically logs down the country's national average when it comes to wages and when it comes to wage growth. According to the Office of National Statistics, almost, if not more than 50% of adults don't even make £24,000 a year. Now, I'm not sure how much that is in when you translate it to dollars, but it's not much. It's not much, guys. It's really not much. And to make things worse, the average household income in the UK is £32,300. That's household. Two people, two people, right? A whole household income. Everybody's money in the house. And you are getting some Black men, there are some white men saying this, but specifically Black men to Black women saying that Black women's education and income doesn't matter. It does matter, because many of you cannot survive without the Black women's education and income. Being born black in a Western world is already a humbling experience for many people. Now, I'm thankful that it wasn't too much of a humbling experience for me because of my parents' efforts to make sure that I was comfortable. But for many people, it is a humbling experience. Many people are struggling while their more fortunate counterparts of a different race are actually able to focus in school properly. A lot of Black people don't have those connections to get the kind of good jobs that they need. And there's this growing rhetoric that, I'm not a divester. I don't care about, I'm not a divester. I don't care about that. I'm not a divester because I've never been invested. I can't divest in something I was never invested in. I've never had the mindset of sticking to one race. I've always dated Black men because that was what I was around. I spent a couple of years in Nigeria schooling there. So obviously that was basically my pool. But it's never been in my mind to always just go, oh my God, I will stick to this one race. I was quite partial to dating someone from my tribe. But then I realized that actually I didn't really like the common dynamic that I found, and that I actually preferred something more different. However, there's this weird, bizarre idea that Black men seem to think that Black women's education and income isn't important because this is what they say: the guy is going to take care of everything anyway. But can you actually afford to take care of everything anyway? Because we're not just talking about marriage and just two people. Many of them want children. And then when children become involved, things become even more expensive. You can be middle class as a couple, have kids and become poor. Because the kids are expensive. You could afford your life as a couple, but with the addition of kids, you can no longer afford your lifestyle. And many of them don't seem to understand this. It's bizarre to me that Black people who are historically disenfranchised would try and discourage another Black person to not get education and income. Absolutely mind-boggling, mind-blowing that you would do that. And I feel like if Black men focused more on increasing their incomes, like genuinely increasing their incomes and increasing, their savings amounts, because even in this country, the savings amounts are dismal. The savings rates are dismal. I read a study that according to government statistics, it's almost like a good 70% of people don't even have £400 in savings for an emergency. And it's mind-boggling to me that it's actually kind of disgusting, in my opinion, that Black women would be discouraged, especially as a lot of Black people are coming from broken homes. Now, I'm very fortunate to come from quite a well-oiled home. I've always had two parents. I've always known who my father was, who my mother was. I've been very close with my siblings. I don't have any step brothers or sisters. I have the quintessential, what you would say, nuclear family. And but I do know that a lot of Black people come from broken homes or come from homes where they don't know their parents or one of their parents, or their parents has been in and out of their life, but they've never really been like a permanent fixture in their life. And when that happens, you're already at a disadvantage because there are things that you're missing, right? And the parent that is there, the one parent that is there, and this happens a lot with single parents and kids, the one parent that still remains has to do so many things and they're so busy all the time. And if you have siblings, you end up becoming a mini parent to your siblings. They call it parentification. The parentification of children becoming parents to their siblings. And this happens a lot in the Black community. I honestly genuinely believe that many people aren't living the lifestyle that they're talking about on the internet. I mean, we've seen it with Dead Pearly Fish Face. She's unmarried. She is overweight but calls women whales, but she looks like a door. her hair literally looks like it stinks of armpits and failure. Like, I'm sorry to say. But her hair looks like it hasn't been under the hot shower in a millennium. She's not living anything she says about herself. She's actually the exact replica of what she talks about when it comes to modern women, which that whole modern woman thing doesn't make sense anyway, because if I was born in 1920s, I pretty much would think everyone around me would be in the same era. So I'm not really sure why they say modern woman. You mean women after the feminism movement? Is that what you're talking about? Because it's just mind-blowing to me that Black people would try and discourage other Black people to get an education. Look, you are not a celebrity. You are not a celebrity. I think too many people watch celebrity things and then model their life off that. You are not a celebrity. Most people, yes, you've got other alternatives like social media, content creation, and you've got trades. But for everybody who succeeds in social media, there are thousands of people who do not succeed, thousands of people who do not become content creators or get paid from that. There are thousands of people who sorry, I don't know what that was. There are also thousands of people who do not have the strength for trades. Trades is a very physical thing, and a lot of people do not have the strength for that. They don't have the good health. Not a lot of people have terrible freaking health, right? There are a lot of, one thing I've discovered as I've grown older is that a lot of people are not healthy. A lot of people are incredibly unhealthy. And so for a lot of people, going to school, is a very good option because you get access to a large pool of work opportunities, the same opportunities that you wouldn't get access to if you didn't go to school or get your degree. I cannot imagine a man coming to tell me, oh, your education and your income doesn't matter. I would laugh him out the door. My master's opened up a world of opportunity for me. It made my life easier. I was able to start my business because I had the tools, and I was able to be successful at my business for the first time because I knew exactly what I was doing. I had gone through the course. I'd understood because I studied international business with finance. So I knew exactly what to do this time. It opened up a whole world of opportunities to me for my career. I'm doing extremely well in my career. And on top of that, it also gave me the excess funds I needed to buy my property. So for anybody coming to tell me that my master's doesn't matter, I would laugh you out the door. Literally, I would laugh at you. I wouldn't even entertain what you said. I would laugh at you and just leave you hanging with your mouth open like that. Like, I wouldn't even entertain it. It would just be utterly hilarious to me. Most of the guys I know in my social circle would not even be interested in being with a woman that isn't educated. Because I'm not trying to be funny, because I understand that looks are important, but when you're done with the looks, what are you going to talk about? Because you can't spend the rest of your life just staring at someone. You actually have to talk about things with each other. If you want like a long-term relationship that's actually going to be successful, you've got to talk about things with each other. So if you can't talk about simple things, there was this, I think it was a meme that came out that said a majority of Americans cannot point to America on the map. And I actually genuinely believe that's true. I genuinely believe that a lot of people are not educated, even in understanding where countries are on the map, on Earth. They don't even know anything about other countries, anything outside of their state. It's crazy to me. What do you talk about? Do you just look at, what do you talk about? Like, what do you talk about? Celebrity stuff all day? A lot of people think that they're celebrities. They think that if they don't go to school, they'll suddenly just become rich entrepreneurs because they watch too much TV or they spend too much time on social media, and they think that, oh yeah, I don't have to go to school. I'll just become a rich entrepreneur. And then they find out it's a lot harder than it looks. Look, guys, I started a business 3 times before I succeeded with this fourth business. 3 times. So it's not even easy. It's not easy at all. And for Black men, especially in the manosphere area, to discourage Black women from getting an education is vile. if you believe that Black women's education and income is threatening to you, then as a man, you should try and improve your own standing. Because I don't understand this competition between Black men and Black women. You shouldn't really be trying to compete against your woman in your race. I think you should be trying to compete against other guys, because at the end of the day, we want you to make more than us. We want you to make more than us. Most Black women would love their partners, especially Black men, to make more than them. They would be over the moon. They would love that, So it's not like, Black women would be upset if you made more. No, we would love it. Black women would love if Black men made more. I'm very sure. I'm very sure of it. So this idea of trying to compete against a Black woman doesn't make any sense. And I think this is why Goldman Sachs actually invested in Black women a lot, because Black women are not playing around when it comes to self-improvement. Black women are crazy mad about self-improvement, and definitely this idea that Black people are trying to, act as if going to school and it's just useless and pointless. I see some people making comments on YouTube saying, I dropped out of school because I couldn't be bothered with college. It's not the path for me. Okay, so how's your life going? How's your life actually going? Did you have any other plan? Did you know exactly? Because don't get me wrong, school isn't the only way, but it is a good way for a lot of people. It's a very good way for a lot of people. So if you dropped out of school, how's that going? What are you doing? What are you doing now? And I'm not trying to call anyone out. But it's just bizarre to me how Black people watch a lot of, especially in the Western world, you're watching a lot of celebrities and influencers telling you, 9 to 5 isn't the only way to live, blah, 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 blah. But many people don't actually have what it takes to create a successful business that can actually sustain your needs, your family's needs. That's hard. It's hard. It's not as easy as it looks. It's not. My parents owned a business in London for about 12 years, and it was very successful. It put us through school. The business put us through school. And, they were doing very well. At one point in the early 2000s, they were in Ovation magazine. They were doing extremely well, which is like a Black magazine in the UK for Black entrepreneurs who were doing pretty well. And even then, things were costly. And this was like, almost 20 years ago. This was 17 or 16 years ago, about around 2005. My parents had that business for a long time, since the late 90s. And it's just bizarre to me. It's bizarre to me that people are watching people who are living a completely different lifestyle to you, these influencers, these celebrities, and I'm an influencer, so I know what I'm talking about. They're living a completely different lifestyle to you. And, you're fantasizing and thinking, okay, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing, but you don't have any plan. And then you're saying that Black women shouldn't get education, or Black women's education and income doesn't matter. It absolutely does matter. 100% it does matter. It really does matter, because many people cannot run a household on their own. So yes, it does matter. It does matter. And not even just that. I'm sorry, but these men in the manosphere are acting as if they're going to live forever. You need, as a human being, to have your own income. Now, my partner does a lot for me. He spoils me rotten. He takes care of me. But I would never stop having my own income. Even when I have a kid and I'd love to stay at home for about a year or two, I would still be doing something to have my own income. Anyway, I'm 100% of the mindset that you shouldn't really be having kids if you don't have some kind of independent wealth. I'm not talking about eugenics, because people go, that's eugenics. I'm like, shut up. It's not eugenics. It's common sense. You can't be having children when you can't afford 3 meals a day and your bills. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's careless. And I'm not a careless person. So yeah, I wholeheartedly would not. Now, if you have kids and then you encounter issues on the way, that's completely different. But purposely putting yourself in that position, which is what a lot of Black people do, it's always, I'll have kids later and God will provide. I'll have kids now and God will provide later, and then it's hard when actually the provision doesn't come as quickly as they hoped. I'm of the mind that, in my opinion, I really wouldn't even be putting myself in that position if I wasn't in the position I am now. Like, I wouldn't even be thinking about it. Because a lot of people don't understand that this is not something, kids aren't like, they're not like a stuffed toy that you buy from the store and then just put it back on the shelf. When the child comes out, you can't shove it back inside the womb. You can't shove it back inside the womb. It's there. It's here to stay. It's a person. It's a real life. It's here to stay. And, I just find it bizarre that people would say that someone's income, you as a human being, you need to be stable. Why is it that human beings don't understand that they need to be stable? It doesn't matter who you marry. It doesn't matter who you get with. You as a person, you need to be able to say, oh my God, I'm going to go out and buy bread and milk, and I can do that. I can do that because I have the agency to do that. You need to be able to do that as a person. There's too many Black men in this community that you don't actually have the basics. Like, even just like an apartment and a car is like really hard. And you get an apartment and a car and you think it's a millionaire status. It's not. It's the basics. An apartment and a car is a basic thing. It's not like you're suddenly a millionaire, but I think when you come from such, and this is a lot of Black people come from nothing. So when you come from nothing, even getting the basics seems like $1 million or seems like £1 million to you. And I think that's a lot of Black people. And there's nowhere on this God green earth that Black men should be telling any Black women that your education and your income doesn't matter. Are you mad? Are you mad? Seriously, are you mad? I just had to go into my Niger. I had to go into my Niger. But seriously, they're like, are you mad? Are you actually mad? You must be mad. Because have you seen the prices of things these days? Like, we all know that even in the UK, we're having a cost of living crisis where people are struggling to put their heating bills on. In fact, the poorest households, in disposable income decreased by 1.6%, and the richest households' disposable income increased. So the people with more money got more money, and the people with less money got even less in this country. And I'm very sure it's like that for America. So I don't want to hear any, this is why I keep telling people, you really shouldn't be, if you're looking at content creators and listening to what they're saying and modeling your whole life over that, you've already lost. You've lost deeply, because many of these people cannot even live one iota of their life. Like I said, I will reference Pearly Deadfish again. She is unmarried, overweight. In fact, in her previous video, she talked about how she wanted to hook up and participate in hookup culture, which is fine. Anybody can do that. But then to go around and then start saying that women are hoes and stuff like that is pathetic, So, there are so many of these silly, senseless little things running around. These little, I don't know if it's red pill creators who are unmarried or bitter in their previous marriages, or that's if they were even fortunate enough for someone to marry them, or, even just never actually been in a proper long-term relationship. They've just been hooking up. Yeah, your advice is okay for people who just want to have, who just want to sleep with anyone. They don't really care what it looks like. But for an actual long-term relationship that will span decades, no, it's not. And like I keep telling you guys, I only take advice and I only listen to my family members because they love me and they want what's best for me. I don't listen to any random content creators. Very rarely do I listen to content creators and actually take their advice. Very rarely. If I really feel it's something that's fantastic, yeah. If not, then goodbye. And honestly, there's a lot that goes into making a long-term relationship successful. Like, I've learned that from my married sister and my mother. And it's not as easy and cut and dry as, these content creators in this space. They're so black and white. There's no room for any nuance there. They're too black and white. So yeah, in my opinion, nobody, and this is just my opinion, but nobody should be saying that black women's education and income isn't important, because it is. It is important. And unfortunately, a lot of black women do marry men that make less. And it's not even just a man that makes less, it's a man that has less in terms of their assets, in terms of their investments. A lot of men don't even have any kind of cash floating around in their account at all, like at all. And, you know, a lot of men are, I'm not even trying to be funny, right? I'm lucky because my dad put me on this. My dad told me all about men when I was younger. My dad, I am very close with my dad. I love my dad to pieces. He's one of my bestest friends. And I had a conversation with my dad, and my dad was like, listen, I'm going to tell you about guys. I'm going to tell you about men. And, you know, a lot of men are actually, I would say men are the original gold diggers. A lot of them are very, very good at, and you know, if you listen to all these rappers, they will talk about how they were staying on their richer friend's couch before they made it big. They were living in an apartment with their rich friend, or they were, you know, using their rich friend's car to go to the recording studio. They had to make this image already, and they had nothing. If you listen to a lot of these celebrities, they would talk about how they were bumming off their richer friends, their male friends. So a lot of these men are already gold diggers. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. A lot of them are. And now I don't use the word gold digger lightly, because I hate it when men use that word gold digger on women. But a lot of men are projecting. They are projecting when they use that word. So yeah. But the whole thing of black men in these spaces saying that black women's education and income isn't important, like, you need to actually improve your income first, and as a whole, like I would say black men need to improve their income as a whole first before they can actually truly say black women don't need to worry about their education and their income. Okay? Because a lot of black women are single mothers, and in fact, a lot of women are single mothers in general, and they need to have that income. A lot of stay-at-home mothers are married single mothers, and a lot of them can't even leave their situations because they have no income and education. This is why income and education is so important. A lot of them cannot even leave the situations that they're in. In fact, I have this running joke that in London, people fall in love by force because London is just so expensive that you can't afford to live there on your own. If you want a divorce, you can't even afford to get a divorce because you'd be homeless by the end of the divorce. There's this running joke I have with my sisters that in London, you'll fall in love with someone by force just to have a place to live. Oh my God. A lot of people are living with people they don't actually want to be with because they can't afford to live on their own. So education and income is important. Please, to black women, I implore you, don't ever let anyone tell you that education and income isn't important. It is important. Yes, a man can take care of you, right? But no man lives forever. So even if a man takes care of you, you still need to, you know, go out there and strive for yourself and do things that fulfill you. You know, black women, I want us black women to know that we also deserve to follow things that fulfill us. Yes, you do. You do deserve that, you know. So yeah, that's all I had to say today. Honestly, this idea of, it's so laughable to me because even the men in my circle, they like and they love the idea of a woman that matches them in terms of intellect. They love the idea of a woman that matches them. They enjoy that. I don't think you should be threatened by a woman that has intellect or that can engage in conversation with you. You know, there's too much of the wrong mindset going on. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm talking too much. I need to go. But yeah, I can't wait to get my hair done. I cannot wait to get my hair done. I'm getting my hair done on Monday. You can see how long my hair is already. It's just growing. But yeah, that's all I had to say. So I don't know what my next video is going to be on. I'm going to maybe talk about how exhausted people are. Everyone's tired as hell. Everyone's tired in this capitalistic hell. But yeah, I'm probably going to talk about that. So yeah, that's it, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.